Now we're going to wrap it up, this whole long podcast with our man, KD. Did you guys know he's a free agent this year?
Dude, did not know.
What? Did you know that the Spurs and Warriors are interested in him?
Did you know that there are 20 other teams that are going to get individual podcasts? What will KD do to be on this team?
Did you know the Warriors are the Wizards are freeing up cap space to sign Kevin Durant because he's from Washington?
And they signed his childhood coach to be on the team?
Did you know that?
Did you know
that?
No, I didn't know that.
We're going to wrap this up by talking about, can KD win a title in OKC? Will he be able to win a title in OKC? What is he? I mean, for that question to stay true, he's going to have to stay. I mean, obviously, he has not won a title in OKC since he's been drafted by Seattle and they made the move to OKC. Do you think that Kevin Durant will stay and then ultimately win a title? Because to be 100% honest, it's completely impressed me that they took that game that series to 7 and was up 3-1. Obviously, they had a huge collapse.
Honestly, it doesn't surprise me because I was the one who called it in 6 where it should have ended in 6. But holy shit, did they choke. And you know why? Because they have no killer instinct. KD is a nice guy. He's a fantastic scorer. But by no means does he have that Kobe, Jordan killer instinct. It's not there. They couldn't close the game. They made a bunch of stupid mistakes. They handed the ball over time after time after time again. This is a problem with KD. He is he's a scorer, period. He has length, which is phenomenal. You can abuse that over anyone matchup wise. Awesome. But he's not who's going to close out that game in that final 5 minutes. Russell Westbrook, who we were hoping, he stepped up, bonehead mistakes. I mean, just showing it over and over. So I don't buy it.
And I'm glad you brought up the bonehead mistake part, because the one thing I'm thinking, and I'm thinking it more and more as I hear people talk about KD, will he leave, will he stay? Honestly, Thunder fans, I think he does stay as of right now. However, I am going to say it that there is no way that Kevin Durant or the Thunder are going to win a title with him and Westbrook paired up together. I just don't think it happens. And for me, it comes down to Westbrook. Durant was not the one that lost that series. It was Westbrook that made the boneheaded mistakes late. Made the turnover.
Are you
here,
kidding me? Do you see all turnovers? Okay.
I'm talking about
Durant gave the ball over so many times too. You can't put this on Westbrook.
I'm talking about, for me and my point, just right at the end. I think it was either at the end of Game 6 or Game 7 when it was just Russell Westbrook trying to, and maybe you can play into, hey, maybe he's trying to get that killer instinct because Durant doesn't have it.
Yeah, I think he's forced to.
I just don't think that Durant and Westbrook, if they stay together, they're going to be the John Stockton and Karl Malone of this NBA. Great players. We remember them for being great players, but never win a title.
I actually like that. I'm going to agree with you twice in
a show. Holy shit, somebody.
That was a pretty decent one.
Yeah. And they both lost, Stockton, Malone, and then Durant and Westbrook both lost to the greatest player of that NBA's generation.
People are going to hate on you there. Just don't make too many.
LeBron's not the best of the generation.
My bad. I thought you meant stuff.
I mean, in the finals.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
My bad.
I was like, wait a second.
My bad.
Complimenting LeBron.
I thought you meant this year. This year. My bad. My bad.
Yeah, well, different eras, man.
See,
different eras.
With KD, I don't think he's going to win a title with OKC because I think he's going to be gone in 2017. I think he's going to sign a 1-year contract. I think he's going to be
get that cash,
staying with OKC for one more year, and I think they're not going to win it next year, and I think he's going to be gone from OKC.
I'm going to throw one out, though, and I heard this on PTI. Wilbon just kind of threw it out there.
Dude.
What about the Clippers? Yeah, they would have to get rid of Blake Griffin, but
I'd be fine with that.
Like, to me,
I think we talked Blake Griffin, traveling out because they had a pretty good performance without him earlier this year, if you remember right.
Yeah, and what do the Clippers need? Oh, a small forward.
Well, and I heard it, and I'm like, holy shit, he's right. I mean, because CP3, totally different point guard than Russell Westbrook. That's the point guard KD needs, not the point guard that Russell Westbrook is.
Yeah, to find him when he's open. Yeah. I think I don't think it's going to happen with the Clippers. I just don't think.
No, but as far as fit goes, that'd be an interesting one.
Oh, fit wise, that's fucking phenomenal. I mean, you have DeAndre Jordan who could jump out of the goddamn building.
Still got JJ.
Yeah, you can just leave him down low. JJ can be a deadly shooter. I mean, that's what
that spacing is disgusting.
That's what OKC was lacking. I mean, Deion Waiters weirdly stepped up, which I mean, it was fucking weird.
Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah,
Deion Waiters and JR switched spots. I feel like.
Yeah, that was fucking weird right there. But I mean, I still, their big problem was wing players, at least from a shooting guard standpoint, you got a guy in JJ Redick who's shooting above 45% from three. That's a guy you want out there. You have Chris Paul, who can be a great facilitator, who can even score. I mean, obviously
he's still a good scorer.
20 points. I mean, I look at this, I look at that, and I think that's a great fit. I mean, if they could somehow keep Blake Griffin and have a lineup of Chris Paul, JJ Redick, Kevin Durant, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan, that's a fucking all-star team right there.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, outside of JJ Redick, who probably wouldn't be on the all-star team in the Western Conference, that's a goddamn all-star team. I mean, if that happens, that's the fucking next big four. But I don't think it's going to happen just because I don't...
Cash.
Yeah, cash and just exactly like... I just don't see it happening. But if that happened, I mean, yeah, fucking that's a phenomenal fit. But there's also a lot of teams where you're like, oh yeah, I don't think KD would fit there. Well, I don't think what team wouldn't want
The one
KD.
thing I'm going to throw out, and just for you guys to answer, because this is one of the questions that I heard on the numerous sports, like every single sports talk radio.
Do you listen to sports talk radio?
All the time.
Really?
All the time.
He's never mentioned
Now,
so
can we get a quote from Colin Cowherd this week, too? Because I feel like we haven't heard one yet.
Have you listened to Do you listen to Dan Patrick?
I love DP.
Or what about
love the DP
Waddy
show.
and Sylvie?
Waddy and Sylvie is good. I like it.
Can you wait for the Bill
Crosstalk-
Simmons show?
Crosstalk's my best. Dude, can't wait for that Bill Simmons.
The Bill Simmons show.
Can't wait.
I'm
For
psyched.
any given
I'm
Wednesday.
so pumped.
Can't
He
wait.
actually just wrote up about KD. But anyways.
I'm going to throw this question out there. And it hit me because I'm like, holy shit, that's the reason why I hate LeBron. Let's say KD leaves OKC this season. Mm-hmm. Are we obligated to hate him because we hated LeBron for leaving Cleveland?
We hated LeBron for leaving Cleveland because he was an asshole when he left. You don't do the decision. You fucking just don't. That's how you kill like all your popularity.
I'm gonna take my talents.
Like
my talents gonna.
That's
take
how you
my
throw away
talents to
goodwill.
South Beach.
Kevin Durant is a super likable guy. He's super nice. Like even he doesn't like the media, but he does. You know, they still like him.
Mm-hmm.
And my question, because I don't clearly remember the talk though, but when LeBron was gonna become a free agent that year, was there talks of him going to Miami like during the season? Because with KD, there's talks about
it was down to 5 teams. The Bulls were weirdly in it, but you never thought they were. I still watched like we were. I still watched like we were, and I was so angry when he said that he was going to South Beach. But really, it was like it was kind of like mellow, like, oh, there's 5 teams, and then I'm going to choose at the decision.
Yeah. See, with KD though, I mean, there's been talks that the Wizards are involved, the Celtics are involved. Like, there's been talks of him going.
There was
so I don't think people would be
team-
too surprised, and obviously he wouldn't be doing the decision again.
Well, there was
It's a
some
PR
team.
fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
I can't remember what team it was, but they were talking also that I guess during the Western Conference Finals, he was talking to another team about
I
the
didn't hear
potential
that.
free agency, and they were all talking like, "Oh, is that him?" Like, is that basically? This is what I heard on Cowherd. Was
See, I knew it.
He basically said, "Well, you brought up Cowherd," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, he did talk about that."
Yeah,
And they brought up the discussion of, "Is that fair? Because is that like cheating on your girlfriend?" Which
Well, that's
to
that
him would have been
tampering.
OKC.
You have to watch out for that tampering charges because teams in the NBA do go after people for that. They are salty as shit, and it is within their legal rights.
I mean, I don't think KD's going to win a title in OKC, but one question, I have 2 more questions, and we'll wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
If they did not make the James Harden move, and that would mean there would be no Steven Adams, and we've seen that James Harden can be a finisher at least at the end of games.
Yeah, we have.
Do you think that if they had James Harden and they had a pairing of, and somehow they made the contracts for it, they had a pairing of Russell Westbrook, KD, and James Harden, would they win a title?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Same time.
No. Well,
Yeah.
the reason why is I see. Okay, think about the next 2 great teams that went to the finals after that Heat Thunder.
Yeah.
The Spurs. Are you going to say the Thunder can beat the Spurs? Okay, maybe I may give it to you, but then you got to play Miami again, and you didn't beat them the first time. You're not going to beat
But
them
they
the
got
second
better.
time.
They kept getting better. That's the thing. Miami
I
players
still think
were
that
already in their
Miami
prime.
team would have rolled the Thunder like Jordan did to the Jazz.
No, I completely
twice.
disagree with you on that.
Look at this year. You have James Harden, who's averaging over 25 points a game. You have KD, who's playing his mind out. You have Russell Westbrook, who's a fucking triple-double monster. You don't think that team could beat the Warriors and couldn't beat the Cavs?
No, I'm talking about at the time.
No,
at the
he's
time,
talking
I'm
about-
talking this. I'm talking like they have this going.
this,
into,
He's
this
talking about
year-
the
this
but
trade
here-
never
9-point
happened.
James
no,
Harden.
They're never.
but
Harden never leaves.
Here's what you got to think about when that happens is here's what's going on in my head. Okay, I'll give you this. Maybe the Thunder could beat the Spurs. They go to the finals. Well, the Spurs never go to the finals, but the Heat are in the finals with LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh. They could have three-peated against this Thunder team. Then LeBron never leaves Miami, and they're continuing to win
I don't
titles.
think they would have three-peated over
I think they would have
Harden.
three-peated.
Really?
Harden was second in MVP voting last year. I mean, that's how good he was.
That big three team would have three-peated.
Literally, he
over
got
the
snubbed
Thunder.
this year for question mark reasons. Like, nobody understands how he didn't make an All-NBA team. He put up numbers that only, like, 4 greats have ever done before in his life.
Magic, something fucking stupid like that. Like it's
some just Joe Schmoes off the street,
I think they're all in the top 50 NBA great players of all time.
Top 20.
Yeah, I think it's something
was the group.
stupid like that.
James Harden has developed, and he has that killer instinct that they've been trying to get back, and they definitely are kicking the shit out of themselves for that.
But the thing is, would you think they'd even be competitive with this Warriors team? Because the thing that beat the Warriors this time was the Twin Towers. It was Adams and Cancer, and they would not have Adams at that time. And
here's the thing I think about is if this happens, it kind of has that rippling time effect. Mm-hmm. How would this move, them not trading that, affect? For me, it's affecting LeBron in Miami because let's just say that the Thunder did go and the Heat won 3. Fuck that. LeBron's not going back to Cleveland. He's staying in Miami, and that changes the whole dynamic of the entire league because Cleveland ain't who they are today. Miami's still as good as they were when they had the big 3. The only thing you have to think about by now, if we're talking this season, then yes, by this year, the Thunder would have been able to beat the Heat because of and nothing that Chris Bosh could control, he wouldn't be on the court. That's why. And the big 3 would be the big 2.
You're ridiculous.
All you 2K kids who do like 2K, what if? What I want you to do is turn injuries off, trade James Harden to the Thunder, and just sim a season, see if they win the NBA Finals, and tweet it at us at Most Valuable Pod. See if they would win the Finals. I want to know.
Fuck it, I'll do it this weekend.
Yeah,
Thank you, because that's ridiculous.
Let's get some people in. Final question here is. What would be the weirdest fit for KD that you could see would happen? Because we think he's going to stay with OKC. Weird fit. Because I think the Clippers for me was the weird fit. I love the fit. It's a weird fit. The ultimate
can it be
weirdest
a weird fit, but it probably won't happen, but it might?
Yeah, mine's going to be the Utah Jazz because it would be weird seeing him in a Utah Jazz jersey.
I'm going to go kind of crazy out there and the Warriors. What if the Warriors made a push for him?
We already talked about that. Check out our what if KD goes to the Warriors
that would be the weirdest what the fuck. Like they're going to if they win it this year, then fuck it, they're 3-peating. Yeah, they got KD.
You have the best scorer and the 2 best shooters.
Draymond, the Splash Brothers, and KD.
That's just not fair.
Yeah,
that's just not fair.
Maybe that bench of fucking Leandro Barbosa and Sean Livingston.
You know it would be even worse though.
What?
If he went to the Spurs, we have the same discussion like we did when LaMarcus Aldridge went to the Spurs, and then they lose in the second round.
No, clearly it's the 76ers, guys. I don't know how you guys are all missing this. They've got all the money in the world to spend, and they've got all this young talent. You put Kevin Durant in there. It's a perfect fit.
I didn't say a fit that was actually going to happen. I just said I said the fucking Utah Jazz because it was weird seeing him in the Jazz.
You know what?
That was my reasoning.
If we're going to do nothing that's going to happen, then I'm just going to say the Bulls because we never get free agents.
I knew that was going. I knew that was coming.
We never get free agents.
All right, we're done. Welcome to the Fast Break Podcast, where Ricky and Dave do not agree at the same time. Where Ricky only talks about the Bulls and how the Bulls can benefit and how much he misses Tibbs.
I'm a Bulls fan. I mean, I don't know how you guys don't get that by now.
No, you're a Celtics fan. That's what people think.
No, I'm a Bulls fan.
No, you're a Celtics fan. That's going to wrap up this week's episode of the Fast Break Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a fun one. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Schwarbo. Joining me was Ricky Widmer. You can follow on Twitter at Ricky Widmer. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Dave_don't_tweet. And then you can also follow Most Valuable Podcast on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod. We're also on Snapchat. You can follow us at Most Valuable Pod. We'll even follow you back. We'll even look at your stories if you want us to. You can even find us on Facebook, MVP Sports Network. And you can find us on Patreon, patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. And just one final thing before we do close this out. I just do want to pass on condolences to the great Muhammad Ali, who did pass away yesterday. Huge influence in the cultural world and the sporting world. One of the greatest boxer of all time, and paved the way for boxing's future and paved the way for MMA future. I know we do not cover those sports, but I've been getting into MMA recently and seeing the fighting sport and seeing the influence that he's had on people like Conor McGregor and John Jones. I mean, he basically invented trash talking. We probably wouldn't have these great fights and these great build-ups to fights.
Might not
without
have Reggie
Muhammad
Miller
Ali.
without him.
Exactly. We might have great players like Reggie Miller. We might have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar changing because of his beliefs of the Vietnam War. I mean, we've seen his effect on the sporting world. And, Muhammad Ali, a great boxer, a great person. And we just do want to pass on our condolences. Muhammad Ali passing at the age of 74 on June 3rd. So this is going to wrap up this week's episode of the Fast Break Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter @MostValuablePod for more great podcasts.